Top 3 bands Liam Gallagher hated. Liam Gallagher is an English singer and songwriter who rose to fame as the frontman of the British rock band, Oasis. His journey to rock stardom began in the streets of Burnage. As the youngest of 3 brothers, Liam grew up in a tumultuous household, but it was this very environment that would fuel his rebellious spirit and eventually lead him to the world of music. In 1991, Liam, along with his older brother Noel, formed Oasis. What started as a local band quickly became a global phenomenon. With Liam's distinct voice, Oasis didn't just join the Britpop movement of the 90s, they defined it. Oasis released its first single, Supersonic, in 1994. Their biggest hit was the album, What's the Story, Morning Glory? 1995, and its best-known track, Wonderwall. But like all great stories, Oasis's tale came with its own share of drama. In 2009, the Gallagher brothers famously parted ways, leading to the band's breakup. Following the breakup of Oasis in 2009, Liam, along with fellow Oasis members Jem Archer and Andy Bell, formed BDI, who went on to release 2 albums and 9 singles before disbanding in 2014. He launched his solo career in 2017 with As You Were, a #1 hit in the UK. He remained at the top of the British charts with 2019's Why Me? Why Not? As the band's music began to make headlines, so did Liam, as the tabloid press speculated about his drug use and volatile behavior, which included spats with his brother. Just a year later, the band released What's the Story, Morning Glory, which eclipsed their debut's staggering popularity. Liam Gallagher has never been shy from expressing his opinions, especially when it comes to music and other bands. Here are 3 bands that he hated. Blur. Blur had minor success as an indie band before finding its place with its 3rd album, Parklife, 1994, a collection of witty, seemingly light pop songs that held echoes of the Kinks. Blur, the band that was at the center of the infamous Britpop rivalry of the 90s. By the mid-1990s, Blur was a chief exemplar, along with fellow melodic rock revivalists Oasis, of what was called Britpop, and a frenzied media-fueled rivalry emerged between the 2 bands. Even though Blur might have been roped into the Britpop train, the clear dividing lines came when they started a chart war with Oasis, releasing their single on the exact same day that Oasis were releasing their next smash hit. Although both bands didn't offer their best foot forward, Noel walked away with a fairly low opinion of his rivals. It all started with what became known as the Battle of Britpop in 1995, when Oasis' Roll With It went head-to-head with Blur's Country House in a race to the top of the UK charts. Both bands were ready to claim the prize that they thought was rightfully theirs. In their speech, Oasis mocked Blur by singing the lyrics of one of their songs, saying, "All the people, so many people." As for Liam, he's still not ready to roll over, mentioning to Vogue that Blur is both his guilty pleasure and the most overrated band of the 1990s. The only fight between Oasis and Blur was to make better music, and their contributions to the evolution of modern rock are undeniable. Coldplay. Coldplay is a British rock band formed in London in 1996, consisting of lead vocalist and pianist Chris Martin, guitarist Johnny Buckland, bassist Guy Berryman, and drummer Will Champion. They are one of the most successful bands of the 21st century, known for their melodic and emotionally resonant music that blends elements of rock, pop, and alternative music. Their early work was marked by a more acoustic, introspective sound, drawing comparisons to bands like Radiohead and Travis. As their career progressed, Coldplay's music evolved to incorporate more diverse influences, including electronic music, pop, and even world music. Liam Gallagher criticized Coldplay's lead singer, Chris Martin, labeling him a knobhead student for voicing strong anti-war opinions during a charity performance. Gallagher disapproved of Martin's comments at Coldplay's Teenage Cancer Trust concert in London, where Martin urged the audience at the Royal Albert Hall to sing against war. These remarks followed Gallagher's appearance as a special guest at Richard Ashcroft's Teenage Cancer Trust show at the same venue. Speaking to The Sun, Gallagher said, "Coldplay used their gig to talk about the war, which I think is inappropriate. Chris Martin shouldn't be using this cause to promote his views on the war. If he and his gawky bird want to rant about the war, they should do it at their own shows." Gallagher went on to say, "They're just a bunch of knobhead students. Chris Martin looks like a geography teacher. What's the deal with writing free trade messages on his hand while performing? If he wants to write something down, I'll give him a pen and paper. A bunch of students." Radiohead. Radiohead was formed in 1985 in Abingdon, England, by school friends Tom York, Johnny Greenwood, Colin Greenwood, Ed O'Brien, and Philip Selway. Originally called On a Friday, the band rebranded as Radiohead before releasing their debut album, Pablo Honey, in 1993. The single, Creep, propelled them into the limelight, marking them as one of the defining bands of the 90s. But Creep was just the beginning. Radiohead's sound quickly evolved, pushing the boundaries of rock music. Their next albums, The Bends and OK Computer, were a massive departure from their debut, blending intricate guitar work with haunting lyrics and a growing interest in electronic music. By the time OK Computer was released in 1997, Radiohead had established themselves as pioneers of alternative rock, with critics hailing the album as one of the greatest of all time. The outspoken former frontman of Oasis has never shied away from expressing his opinions, and Radiohead has been a frequent target. But what exactly does Liam Gallagher hate about Radiohead? Oasis wanted to be the biggest band in the world and were trying to make accessible, catchy music. They were trying to have hits. They were also good at generating publicity. Radiohead have spent their entire musical career trying to be innovative, while Oasis didn't. The Gallaghers have never been big fans of the Radiohead, but it seems after being forced to listen to two of their most accessible albums, he still isn't buying it. When you also take into account Liam's consistent angry tweeting about the group, it's clear to see the bitterness he and Oasis harbor towards the group. And Radiohead might be one of the few things Liam agrees with his brother Noel on, who previously said his cat is more rock and roll than the band and admitted that although they've some great stuff, they aren't a band for parties. Back in 2011 he told the Quietus, "I heard that Radiohead record and I just go, what? Them writing a song about a tree? Give me a break. A 1,000-year-old tree? You would have thought they have written a song about a modern tree or one that was planted last week. You know what I mean?" When talking to Music Radar about his notoriously vitriolic music opinions, Liam said, "I've mellowed, but not in the sense of liking Radiohead or Coldplay. I don't hate them. I don't wish they had accidents. I think their fans are boring and ugly and they don't look like they're having a good time." Even today, Liam's presence in the music world is undeniable. His concerts sell out, his tweets spark headlines, and his music continues to inspire. Liam Gallagher isn't just a musician, he's a movement. Many contemporary bands and artists, particularly in the indie and alternative scenes, have drawn inspiration from Liam Gallagher and Oasis. Bands like Arctic Monkeys and the Libertines have all acknowledged Oasis's influence, with Liam being a key figure. In an era where electronic and pop music have dominated the charts, Liam Gallagher's solo work and his commitment to rock have helped keep the genre alive, influencing a new wave of rock bands. While Liam Gallagher is celebrated by many, he's also known for his numerous feuds and outspoken nature. This has often polarized opinion, but it's also contributed to his legend, keeping him in the public eye and maintaining his influence over time. Thanks for tuning in. Let us know in the comments which bands you were surprised to see on Liam's hate list. Until next time, keep rocking. Thanks for tuning in. Let us know in the comments which bands you were surprised to see on Liam's hate list. Until next time, keep rocking.